Where is it? There it is. What's going on, everybody? Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us for anything and everything rock and roll. Well, of course, with a little bit of ADD. Anyway, I'm Zach.
I'm TJ.
And I'm Robin.
And you're listening to Rock Detention.
I don't feel tardy.
Gentlemen, how are we?
Always good. Hey, boys.
So good, dude.
I'm good. A little sore. I had some cavities filled yesterday, so
Which
that's
kind of cavities?
like cavities like in my teeth.
All right.
So,
What kind of cavities did you fill yesterday?
sugar cavities that I created because I have a sweet tooth.
More importantly, how's your mouth feeling?
It's sore, definitely sore. So
Right on, man. Right on.
yeah.
What a week, boys. I'm so glad to be here with y'all. The world is crazy right now, so it is always a pleasure to come and disappear with my boys.
It's true.
Agreed.
Now, TJ, you just got back from a trip.
I did.
Where were you?
Orlando, Florida. Beautiful Florida.
Did you see Mickey?
I didn't. I skipped him.
I thought you went to Disneyland.
Universal Studios, bro.
Isn't that the same thing?
Oh, no. People get that confused. Nerds.
Sorry, I just got a notification on my screen and on my phone. Right on. Well, for everybody just tuning in, this week we have all of our very dear friends, Mr. Keith Robert, coming on, and y'all probably met him when we first started this thing, when we were doing sound and audio checks. He definitely came in and hung out with us, and he is a phenomenal person and phenomenal musician. So we're really looking forward to hearing his history of rock and roll.
Yeah, we're definitely excited. It's long overdue. He's needed to be on this for a while now. So
13 episodes in, he should have been on it. 13 days in, I should say.
Now, TJ, you were in his wedding, correct?
Perhaps. And so,
Mayhaps.
Yeah, we were both there, bro.
Okay, well, look, dude, you're being all quiet today. I'm trying to paint the picture.
I'm still vacation mode, bro.
Okay, well, I need you to talk, and I'm trying to let everyone know how.
Yeah,
you
I
know
was in
Keith.
Keith's wedding. And I got the call like a month before, and Keith's like, "Bro, I know it's unexpected, but I'm getting married in July." And I said, "I'm there." And then I was there.
That's what's up. And then I hung out with you at the wedding.
Cool story,
hey,
bro.
And then you drove me to the shenanigans afterwards.
The after party, amazing food. We had.
And remember, like 3 weeks after, I was like, "Bro, the picture finally came through." It's like it'll be instantaneous after you take a photo booth picture.
Dude,
and then 3 weeks later, I text you. I was like, "Bro, the picture came in."
somewhere I still have that. I still have that picture somewhere on my phone. If I really dig deep into it. Before I forget, I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. TJ's grandmother, Grandma Carolyn. Happy birthday to you. Hope you had a freaking amazing day and a rocking day, of course. TJ.
Why, thank you, sir. She's the best, and I bring her cheesecake today.
Did she enjoy it?
She did. And
what flavor?
And actually, well, I guess cheesecake flavor. Is there different flavors?
Yeah, there's like strawberry cheesecake. I've had maple bacon cheesecake.
It was like deconstructed cheesecake. There was like blueberries on the side with a little whipped cream. And,
not Cool Whip?
Yeah, well, not Cool Whip. Well, maybe it was Cool Whip. Side note, I have to tell you something before. I got to finish this thought, though. My mom actually brought her favorite martini. She made it herself. The Winter's Night, which is like Godiva liqueur or something like that, and a bunch of other nonsense. And my grandma took it like a champ because she's awesome. So happy 76th, Grandma. I mean, 29 forever. Side note, when we're in Florida, and then let's get on with this podcast. I can't not bring this up, but you know I never wear sleeves. You don't wear sleeves either, Zach. I watch a lot of Family Guy, but never seen this one. It was like, this is like that one time I went to Tampa and my trip got ruined, and it was Stewie sitting at the bar in like a long sleeve and pants, and 3 dudes from Tampa Bay came in and go, "Hey, city boy, what's up with your arm pants?" Because arm pants covering the sleeves.
Oh, okay.
I laughed so hard.
I thought you were about to get into a bar fight or something.
No,
They sounded
that was fun.
angry.
Well, it's Family Guy. That's how it goes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about this happened to you.
No,
No.
follow the story.
Yeah,
Bro.
follow the story.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm actually
Keep up, bro.
I'm trying not to sneeze right now. I've been holding the sneeze in for like the last 47 seconds.
48, 49.
Absolutely. Anyway, all right. Are we gonna get on with this, boys?
I think we're gonna get on with this.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our dear friend, Mr. Keith Robert.
There he is.
What's up, dude?
How are you, fine rockers?
If I was
even
any better,
now.
it'd be a sin. Life is good.
TJ's always good. That's what he says when you pick up the phone.
Along with what's up, dude?
What's up, dude?
I'm hanging up, boys. It was a good podcast.
Well, it's awesome to be on Rock Detention, guys. I'm honored. I'm humbled. I'm going to start the show off by saying, first and foremost, I'm actually really proud of you guys. You know, I try to put my support into all my friends and whatever they do. And you guys are very cool to be putting this together. You've worked very hard on it. It's not easy for anybody that doesn't know how these things happen. But you guys have put a lot of hard work into it, and I think it's very cool what you're doing, and I appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck with it.
Thank you, brother. That means a
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, I'll get at you.
Well, no, we're blessed to have you, bro.
All right, now I'm going to start the show off. You ready?
Attaboy.
There we go.
lot. This is gonna be longer than 69 minutes, isn't it?
Hey, before we
How
get
are you
any
guys?
further,
Yes.
I think Keith is the first one that's cracked a beer by himself without a handoff.
Without a handoff? Was I supposed to hand off?
Well, no. Last week, our Ryan, our guest, it's like someone kept coming in and just handing him beers, like throughout the
really?
show. Yeah, but he wouldn't open them. He just like set them down. And it's like,
That's too much.
Does it look like someone's handing me something?
no.
Okay, so
Not really.
what's
No.
everybody drinking tonight, boys?
Celsius for
Celsius.
the winners in life.
Okay.
I like how every time you put that drink up, it is blurred out somehow.
Well, hey, because we're not sponsored yet. Once we get the
Once we get there.
sponsorship,
Copyright infringement.
yeah, that's pretty much
YouTube is censoring us. Buffalo Trace with 2.5 dashes of aromatic bitters.
I am drinking agua because I can't
From
have
Whataburger.
I can't have anything else. No, this is actually like a Yeti mug. So
A Whataburger.
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
Whataburger?
Whataburger Yeti mug. So
Of
I'll
course.
be honest, we're like a few podcasts in with that, and I was like, why does Robin always have Whataburger? Like, dude, you need to settle down, bro.
I discovered Whataburger in 1997 down in Texas, and we had never seen anything like it from New York. So these 5 New York guys come down, start rolling through Texas. We start seeing the sign for Whataburger, and we're like, what is this fat? And then we saw it more and more and more and more. One day we finally cracked, and of course it was the best experience that you could ever imagine. And it's just a Texas thing, you know what I mean? Texas burgers, and not many people know about it. And when I see the logo, I have flashbacks.
they did and I don't know how they do these kinds of quizzes or inquiries into this stuff, but they did a poll for, you know, what is each state's most popular fast food chain,
Right.
and Texas's was Chick-fil-A. And all the comments are just like, this is wrong, this is rigged, it's Whataburger, like, what's going on?
Right, of course.
Dude, I'll go out on a limb, and I'm gonna stir some controversy up in the what's it called, the comments.
Sure.
Whataburger over In-N-Out all day.
All day,
No
every
way.
day.
No way. No way.
All day,
No
every
way.
day.
Yeah.
No.
Way.
No.
Yes,
I'm
all day, every day.
No way. No.
Okay, so if the people in visual land, if you don't understand this, okay,
I don't
gotta
even
travel.
eat beef.
You
but
got to
anyway,
travel to
go on.
Texas to have a Whataburger, and then you have to go to Los
Texas.
Angeles or
We have
Vegas.
We have
Vegas,
In-N-Outs
yeah.
here.
Screw those. Vegas much better. Vegas is much better.
Vegas, In-N-Out Burger actually saved my life one day.
Yeah. Imaginable.
I think it was after your wedding.
I
Why?
can imagine that too.
Why did it save
Nothing
your
could
life?
nothing could save me after my wedding. Get out of here! Why are you biting me? He's biting me.
So
Is there
if you
somebody
guys
there
didn't
with
know
you,
that-
Keith?
there's a
Yeah,
cat.
there was a
there's
cat.
a cat handing him.
Yeah, I
beers.
mean,
So.
I was petting him and everything like that, and he wanted to go, but I got bit. So go figure.
Cats for you.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well, okay, so Keith, you're from New York, obviously.
Can
in
you
your
tell?
voice.
No, you
People-
miss a Vegas accent.
I still get it. I still get it now. People are like, "Are you from New York?" Yeah,
Nope.
I'm from New York.
Hey,
No,
do
What
you
part?
say-
What part of New York?
I was truly born in Queens, but mostly Long Island my whole life. I may have shed a few different stories here and there about living in New York City, but I did live in New York City for almost about 1998. And that was an experience okay, so like I think Stewie says it in Family Guy or something like that. Like living in New York City is like either you're really rich or you're really poor. There's nothing in the middle. And I was really poor and I got to live in New York City. We'll get to that later. But it's a totally different experience. 24 hours a day, mayhem, the sounds, the noises. It was just unbelievable.
It's
So mostly Long Island though.
okay.
Sorry.
Every time I've ever visited New York, everybody's always like, "Oh yeah, the traffic, it keeps you up." I never notice it when I go to sleep.
No, it's a trance.
Yeah.
Total trance.
So you're on the side of absolutely love New York.
I have a totally different opinion now. I know most of my New York friends don't want to hear this, but I would never go back. Let's just say that. I would never go back. Because I can't believe I lived there for 30 years. How much New York I got out of New York. I can't believe I did it, you know? And I'm just glad to be away from it. It's just too crazy, too madness, you know? Try to upgrade in life and get a little bit different, you know? So, and we did.
Which brought you to Vegas, correct?
What?
Which brought you to Vegas?
Well, that was done, you know, with me and my wife, you know? We first I went to LA after I met her. I flew out to LA and said I was never coming back to New York. And since then, we dreamed up a plan of getting out there and coming to Vegas. Because we both love Vegas.
I will
Us.
second that.
Who doesn't love Vegas?
Third
I mean, we're both poker players. I mean, anywhere else other than California, because we knew we couldn't stay in California 5 years ago. There's just no way we could have just done it. So Vegas.
Robin,
yeah.
you raised your hand. Or are you saying you don't like Vegas?
So I
was like, do you want me to shut up?
No. He goes, who doesn't like Vegas? And I raised my hand, and then I remembered that there's a raised hand thing on Skype.
No, I love it.
Raised
That's
hand.
funny. If anybody doesn't know the raised hand thing, you have to know Skype.
So sidebar. Let's not get too off topic. But Robin,
Sorry.
you hate LA, right?
Absolutely.
No.
This is for Robin. Keith.
Sorry.
Check this out. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Robin, you hate LA.
Yes, I hate LA proper. The beaches, love the beaches.
Unlike Randy Newman, right?
Yeah.
Who loves LA.
Right.
And then you like New York?
Yeah, I do. I love visiting.
Hate Vegas?
Okay, I can't say that I hate
Hold
Vegas.
on. No, I'm just saying. So we have a New Yorker who doesn't want to go back to New York, and you're a Texan who hates Vegas and California. That's all. I'm gonna stop there.
Oh, shucks. I forgot there's two Texans on here. I thought you were talking to me, and I was like, I never said that.
No, Zach. No, we know you love Vegas.
I have spent 30 years of my life in Texas.
This
my whole life
is
here.
Keith's show. He can take over at any minute. I don't care.
But
He's our guest. He can do whatever he wants.
But no,
for the ride.
I think it's actually a really, really good segue, since we're talking about, you know, places we don't like, leaving places and whatnot. but to transition it into like, Keith, what were you doing in New York before you left, and then what caused you to leave? But well, you said your wife, but
well, that's a 10-year story. Are you ready?
We got a lot of time. Let's do it.
Okay, so
Hey,
first
this
off,
could be the world record for the longest podcast ever. Let's do it.
past 69 minutes. No, I want to keep it. I want to be honest. I want to be humble about things. Zach is the sweetest guy in the world. He tells me I'm a rock star, and I'm very humbled by it. But I just know that my story is a little bit different, a little bit more unique. I know it's not top of the world. I know it's not the big league story, but I'm very humbled by it. And just a few things I just wanted to talk about and just say, first, the first big gig I had out of New York City was Dressed to Kill, and it was a Kiss tribute band. It was crazy how I got into the band. It was basically only a couple months out of high school, and I had just bought this Les Paul, this crazy 1978 Les Paul. And if anybody out there has ever played my Les Paul knows it's one of a kind, this weird kind of guitar. It's just very bizarre. Every guitar player that picks it up is just kind of like, whoa, right? So, Kiss was always my driving passion for music, et cetera, and I was young and everything like that. The only show I ever played before I got into this Kiss tribute band was the high school talent show, swear to God. And I won it, first place. Zeppelin 3-piece. So we spent like $8 each. It was crazy. But I got into this Kiss tribute band called New York City's Dressed to Kill. And it was a really unique way how I got into it. Long story short, it was very serendipitous how it all happened. It's a very long story, but these four guys that I met, Joe, and Bobby, they took me on my first tour in 1997. And I mean, 1997, I was right out of high school, a couple months. And I basically told my family, I was just like, peace out, let's do this, and nobody ever really expected that to happen. Nobody ever left home in my family, you know what I mean? So it was like a real bizarre thing. So I go on this great tour, a lot of wild things happen. It was a side story, we had traumas that happened before the tour. We had traumas that happened after the tour, but the tour was like, such a memorable time in 1997. No cell phones, no beepers, no GPS, absolutely nothing. And we did like 30 gigs all over America, maybe even like 50 all over America in 1997. And it all changed our lives. A guy got married out of the band. Everybody went on to do their own musical careers and stuff like that. But that Kiss tribute band meant a lot to me. Like the foundation of the friendship, the camaraderie, and the passion for getting Kiss right. I could talk everybody's ears off about Kiss tribute bands for a million years, but I'm just, kind of like straight out gangster, like true talk between us three, us four, is like we were one of the best. The harmonies were there. Most tribute bands can't perform the harmonies. They don't get the height and weight right. They don't get the stage presence right. And then you got to throw in the great guitars, et cetera, et cetera. And there was something so magical about Dressed to Kill. And here I am. My second gig ever is in full makeup and costume. And my third gig's like on the road. It's just like, this is awesome.
And for those listening, Keith is a very, very big Kiss fan. If you can't tell.
I couldn't.
Okay, Robin, he is a huge Kiss fan.
It was very strange. When I was born, I had two very influential brothers that I was living under a Kiss poster. I used to point at Ace all the time. I used to look at him and stare at him. And it was kind of weird because I would I think I forced myself to have his like hairstyle, per se. I just kind of fell in love with the persona of the Space Ace from, the real Kiss. And I studied it and I knew it very well and I'm very proud of it. And I know my friends out there that are either watching or going to watch in the future or know me, know that it was very, very special touch that I put onto Kiss. So I'm very, very, very proud of it.
as you should be. You're fantastic at it.
Yeah.
Now, what
Jack.
what? I'm
TJ.
sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You're raising your hand.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Keith. I was gonna say, there's a lot of ways. I was gonna say, like, what I love about you, among other things, is that like you put like you want the Kiss touch to it. You don't want it to be like this is my own. Like you can put a little touch on it, but from a non like touring musician standpoint, like if I see bands like butcher a song, I'm like, you could have done better. And
It sucks every once in a while you butcher a song. We've all been there.
But then I think like Kiss Night too, what you do, like a little plug, like
yeah,
I hope that
sure.
comes back too. Like
Absolutely.
that was fun as hell. Like you get everyone together, they all play Kiss. And...
So for everybody out there in podcast land, Kiss Night in Las Vegas is a fundraiser for Clark County school districts here in Nevada, and the founders basically raise a ton of money with Kiss rock and roll music all night, and they give it to the schools, and they buy musical instruments, and they put music in the hands of the youth because it's being stolen from them. So it has to be returned. And you know, it's just a really beautiful thing, and it's done through the power of Kiss. And all of our friends play there, from Christian Brady to, you know, past and present people and whatnot. And it's a really, really, really big event. And just want to give a shout out to Stoney Curtis, Sean McKee, Morpheus Black, and they are the founders of Kiss Night. So if we come back and we're rocking soon and we put it on, I highly suggest you all come out.
Yeah. Oh, and you even had a guy. I remember when I went to Kiss Night 2 years ago. Guy from Hairball, like the lead singer.
Yeah.
Forgive me forgetting his name right now, but
yeah, I think he flew in that night.
I think him and the bassist. I know they like change lineups here and there, but like I was like, this is Minnesota representing at Kiss Night.
Totally.
And side note, you are the best Ace Frehley I've ever seen besides Ace.
Thank
Frehley.
you. I'm very humbled about it. You know, I have to say on record, shout out to my buddy Matt and Oz. There is another guy out there that Matt knows very well. I'll give him some humble. His name I won't mention, but he was very, very good. And there are not many good aces, but there's now that since I've been getting away from it, there's the new era coming in and whatnot. But I was very proud of it.
And then. Go ahead, Zach. Go ahead. I've been taking over all of a sudden.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to vouch for Kiss Night. It is a beautiful thing. When I was living in Vegas, I went to 2 or 3 of them, and it's held at the Counts Vamped. Shout out to Danny and Corey. Thank y'all for keeping the rock scene alive in Vegas. It's so packed that it's sold out on the inside. They bring a Jumbotron on the outside, and it carries to the parking lot. I mean, it is such a beautiful night. Everyone who is anybody, all the rock stars in Vegas are there when it happens. You know, everyone shows up. Everyone gets up and plays. It is such. I'm getting chills just talking about it. So if you're ever in Vegas and you hear about Kiss Night, go check it out. Or shoot, just
the
hear
list
about
of
Kiss Night,
musicians is mammoth.
Absolutely,
I mean, it's mammoth. You know, it's crazy.
And you were the musical director the last 2 years?
That's right. That's right. I took over and did some things for. I'm just a side helper, trying to get that musical direction going on. It's not an easy job.
No, it's not. But
not
you do great at it.
Yeah, thank you.
And I want to go ahead and say that hint, hint, cough, cough. I would love to play on stage with you up there.
We wanted
1 year,
you to
so
play
let me
the
know.
last 2 years. We wanted you to.
I was just gonna ask Zach, have you ever played Kiss Night?
I haven't.
I've invited him a million times.
Zach, why not?
A million times.
Once I left Vegas, I started getting.
Oh, sorry, you're not here. Oh no,
Yeah.
You're in Nashville. I guess you can't play.
No, actually, I think I was out on tour with Adelita's Way the first time, and then I think Rock of Ages the second time. But it would be an honor. I'm honored that y'all asked, and next time that I'm available, you know that I'll be there for you.
Awesome, thank you. So, do you want me to continue on the path? Yeah, go ahead.
So you did the Kiss thing, you did Dress to Kill, which I would assume probably got your playing chops, your stage presence chops, and your Road Warrior chops just through the roof.
was pretty wild.
Yeah. So, kind of your first big foray into being a working musician and
yeah. Well, it's kind of weird. So like, it's 1997. I'm only 19, and so I'm about maybe a year out of school, and it's strange because like, I wished at that time I still like practiced a little bit more, but I just wanted to get into it. I had this opportunity to jump into it. It just happened so fast. So like, basically in 1998, after that summer, somewhere around like April or something like that, there was this contest on MTV, right? So I see this contest and they're looking for the VJ. Want to be a VJ? Do you guys remember this contest at all on MTV, or is this a little pre your time?
I think we were all around 8 years old. So
yeah.
So I'll be honest. I had a lot of advertisements as a little kid. Like,
yeah.
I loved Roadie
So
and
check
MTV,
this out.
Like,
what is a VJ?
Like, still kind of music television.
Video jockey.
Okay.
Right. So there's this crazy contest going on MTV, and I'm like paying attention to it. I'm like 20. I'm like watching MTV, checking some shit out, and I see this guy named Jesse Camp. He's tall. He's got crazy hair, bell bottoms. He's got patches, the same patches that I got on my pants and everything like that. I'm like, this guy's weird.
Like, he dresses just like me.
Yeah, he dresses just like me. This is so strange. Sorry, excuse me. But I'm like, something about this guy I have to get in touch with. So I write this letter.
You hand wrote a letter.
Yeah, I handwrite a letter.
This is before AOL even.
I know.
Yeah. So I don't pull it out of my notebook or my journal at the time. And the next day, I get a phone call from a club called Birch Hill in New Jersey. It was a great club in New Jersey. Dressed to Kill played there like 25 times. We were a staple. Pyro, everything like that. It was just insanity. I mean, like,
y'all had pyro?
Oh, we had pyro. Oh my God, we had so much pyro.
How can you do a Kiss tribute without pyro?
So now before
that's not a tribute at that point.
Now listen, I'll tell you guys a side story. Like, I hate even telling the story, but like, what happened in Rhode Island with the pyro with Great White? I mean, it's an absolutely terrible thing. Are you guys familiar with that video? Okay, so I played that club probably 12 times. I could tell you every time I played there. And the guy that was working for us at the time, who is not on my nice list for Christmas ever in my entire life, he set off a piece of pyro at a certain point of the show and it lit the wall on fire. Okay, now he got it out in time, but I thought back about a year later after it happened, I said, that's just blew my mind. It just blew my mind. So what I was getting at is that, some bands back in the 90s and the 80s, you would go into clubs and clubs would be like, well, hey, you got that pyro? And we'd be like, yeah, but ceiling's a little low tonight, like we'd rather not use it tonight. They like, we want pyro. We pay for pyro. I'm like, oh. So we went through trial and error with stuff like that. We were safe and everything like that. But yes, we had pyro and it was crazy. It was wild pyro. Zach?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So y'all, I mean, for those of you who don't know, because I also have been on the production side of things as well, lighting in particular, but I know a little bit about pyrotechnics. Pyrotechnics is not cheap, and so y'all are rolling with like a legit pyro guy, or is this just someone who loves lighting lighters?
This is our one and only roadie. This is every band that I've ever been with in the 90s and early 2000s had one roadie. That was it. Driver, pyro, sound, everything like that.
But he wasn't like a licensed pyro guy. This was just a guy lighting gasoline.
We were packing cans with gunpowder, and we figured out a way in charges, and we had all the things rigged off for flames. I mean, I was using like cherry bomb style, like big fat smoke bombs from my smoker and my guitar from my guitar solo. In fact, one time it blew up on stage in Louisiana. I had first, second, and third degree burns all over my hands. The guitar blew up into a million pieces. I had packed the fuse too hard that day, and I went all the way to the bottom instead of the top, where at the top you'd make an ignition to ignite the fumes rather than the fuse going to the bottom, making it a bomb.
Woo.
and I'm in the middle of a guitar solo, and I'm going beatle, 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 beatle. Blows up. The fucking crowd is like, yeah.
The crowd went wild.
It's fucking like July 4th, and I go, how about that for July 4th? And the place went nuts. I mean, the guitar was destroyed. My hand, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, we've been through a lot of trial and error. I've been set on fire. And in fact, shout out to my boy Fatty in Buffalo. We were on tour once in Fargo, North Dakota. Okay, the ultimate arena. We played in an arena in Fargo, packed an arena. It was for a Kiss tribute band, and we had full pyro, blowing shit up. We had a huge stage, huge monitors, the whole thing, the whole phenom. Right? Show's over. This is on YouTube. Show's over. The rule is, show's over, you don't blow any more pyro up. That's it. You missed your cue. Don't blow the pyro up. I'm walking right by, and I get right in front of this cannon, and he hits the ignition, and it's like a foot underneath my ear. It blew me off the stage. It was the most wild feeling in the world. I could laugh about it now, but I wanted that kid dead. It was pretty wild. I mean, I've been through a lot of shit.
Damn, dude, I'm just.
That's just Dress to Kill. That's just Dress to Kill.
Well, I was gonna say, not to take away from that, because I'm mind blown right now. But thanks for calling Fargo, North Dakota instead of Minnesota, as everyone associates it.
Oh yeah,
So.
no, I know I know my territory. So, long story short, I see this crazy kid Jesse Camp on stage, and I'm like, I write this letter. And see, this is bad for me. I always take a sidestep on stories, so you guys got to keep me on track.
Okay,
no.
yeah. So this
We love
is
it.
back to the
This
letter.
is,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
we'll go
ADD.
back.
This is the
So,
ADD.
yeah, this is the ADD part, right? Exactly.
I
So-
thought you blew up and then you went and wrote a letter.
No, it's like time travel. We're going right from being blown up.
His
to
hands
writing
were
the
fried,
letter.
and then he just wrote it with
Right,
his teeth.
exactly.
He was like,
So so I see this fucking weirdo on fucking MTV, and I'm like, I need to know this guy. I write this letter. The next day, the guy from Birch Hill calls me, and he's like, yeah, this guy from MTV wants to interview you. I'm like, who? He's like, this guy Jesse Camp. I'm like, what the? Let me tell you, if I didn't do what I had to do in the next 8 hours to do what I had to do, which is a whole nother story, my life maybe not have been sitting here right now. So, because nobody had a ride, nobody had a way to get there. We were screwed, and at the last minute, I made it happen. So I get there because I said to myself, I got to meet this guy. It was really about me. It wasn't about Dress to Kill at that point. So we get there. I have my head down, and I bump into Jesse, and we look up at each other, and I'm like, you're that dude. And he's like, hey, dude. So we had like this really weird instant connection, like from like the first day we met. It was like called MTV Beach House or MTV Summer. What do they call that, TJ? The summer.
whatever Pauly Shore was hosting.
Yeah, all those summer MTV shows, whatever. So
Pro that.
yeah, he invites this Dress to Kill. He invites this Kiss tribute guy. We do this whole taping. I don't think they ever used it on MTV. Yeah, actually they did. They did use it. There is footage of this. I will dig this out. So I meet this guy, Jesse Camp, and long story short, he like loses my number. He meets people in a club in Pennsylvania, and they're like, hey, we know Keith. And he's like, what? So then he gets my number, leaves me a voicemail. Now this is all like weird to me because this guy's famous on MTV. So now this guy's like calling me, and we have no cell phones, no beepers. We have just like regular telephone answering machines.
Good old landline.
Landline. Exactly. You know, and just how, you know, I know he had an admiration for me, like I had an admiration for him. We kind of knew we were going to be together as a bandmate, but being at his level, I wasn't sure that he was ever going to really keep me around. Like, you know, like, but he was always like, hey, you want to go out? You want to do this? You want to do that? You want to do this? Then he's like, hey, I got an album coming out.
Wait, time out on the playing field. So you jump from bumping into this guy,
Yeah.
and now y'all are just best friends.
He was like, and I love that about him because he's, at the time, imagine meeting me at the time in 1998 at his era, he's probably like, oh my God, he's my Joe Perry. And I'm looking at him like, oh my God, this is my fucking Stephen Perry. This is my Steven Tyler. I can't
You're
fucking
Stephen
believe it.
Perry. Yeah.
Yeah, my Stephen
Yeah,
Perry.
Steve,
Yeah.
well,
This is my
I guess
fuck.
Steve Perry. From
Either
Tribute, a
either
little
way,
different,
either
but-
Steve Perry, it doesn't matter, whichever one. We looked at each other and we just knew it. You know, we knew it. So he kept me around. Like he was always like, "Hey, you're gonna play on the record. You're gonna play on the record." So I'm like getting my hopes up, and then I started realizing he wasn't around for a couple weeks, and I was like, "All right, I guess I'm not playing on the record." And now being older, I understand as a business, you know, Hollywood records. Okay, so guess who produced this record?
Hulk Hogan.
That's probably the best guess you could ever imagine. But imagine this, okay? So he's getting this album recorded, you know, and I'm all for it, but I just guess at the time I was a little heartbroken. I thought I would play on it, you know. I didn't understand the business. I didn't understand that there was real players who needed to be paid to play on a record that was going to cost $500,000. Right?
Sure.
So whatever, you know, yada yada yada. When the album came out, well, so like he basically puts this, like, you know, he at the time he kept in touch and whatnot. That's when I was living in New York City. When I was away, that's when the whole Gene Simmons phone call happened. I want to bring that up if that's cool.
Please.
But yeah, but like, yeah, it's just like the timeline. So he gets this record together, and I'm kind of like not sure if I'm really in the band or anything like that. You know what I mean? So like he tells me that the band's gonna be this guy named Joe Rizzo, Todd Youth, who is a Lower East Side icon in hardcore punk 80s thrash metal. Like he was a very talented human being, a very talented guitar player. He's passed away since then, but Todd Youth is a legend, a fucking legend in rock and roll, above statuses that I can't even explain. So he tells me that Todd's going to be in this band, Joe Rizzo, who is this incredible drummer. And then he tells me that Sammy Yaffa is going to be in the band from Hanoi Rocks. And I go, what the fuck are you talking about? Now, this is my like idol, Hanoi Rocks, like Finnish rock glam band. Like TJ's fucking smiling because if you Texas boys don't know who Finnish rock and roll stars like Hanoi Rocks are, I understand, but they were one in a million. And so like this is all happening very rapid, like from the point I meet him and the point where I'm hanging out, and you know, yada yada yada. The album comes out. Even though like, because like you got to understand, like Jesse Camp was like always telling his manager, like, you know, Keith is going to be in the band. Keith is going to be in the band. He's going to be in the band. But the manager's probably being smart, going, I need to make sure this guy is really good for the band, right?
How many shows have you played at this point?
With Jesse?
Yeah.
None.
Oh shoot! So
No,
this is
I'll
just like
speed it up. Yeah, I'll
three
speed
best
it up.
friends. Okay.
Yeah. So like, you know, I meet him, and then like within like 6 months, the album gets recorded, the video shoots happen. I shoot my first MTV video with him, which was the weirdest thing in the world.
Dude, okay. What was it called?
See You Around.
Bro, I watched that today, and right after I finished it, I called Robin. I was like, dude, Keith is a rock star, dude.
So, wait. So are you ready for this? You know, like this is when I started realizing Jesse was like can I be honest with you guys?
I'd rather you lie.
Can I tell the truth here?
You can do whatever you want.
You know,
This is
when
a
I
safe
started,
place.
when I met Jesse, I was like, yeah, this is cool and all, and like, wow, this is really like a chance for me to like get into like the business, but like, man, is he a fucking flake? Like, there were so many things that just blew my mind, from performances, from care of the music, from care of the responsibility of being famous, you know, the lying, the bullshitting. It really was bizarre to see this dude who's on MTV, and all of a sudden he's like just such a jerk, not an asshole. He was a jerk. Like, I just couldn't get it. Like, here we have this opportunity, one golden opportunity. I told him, I said, You have the opportunity to go out there and be proud of being drug free. Leave the drugs for the rest of the band, but be proud of it and promote it. And he lied about it, and that's what image that he tried to be. He tried to be a squatter. He tried to be, all this kind of like, just kind of like rough personality from the streets when he was just really a good guy, And I really wish that he had, taken that responsibility much better. We had an opportunity to open up for Kiss. We opened up for all our tours. We opened up for NSYNC.
Yes,
Alice
I remember
Cooper, that. The great Alice Cooper. We played.
Now, didn't some stuff go down with NSYNC? Didn't the FBI get involved? Or is that not allowed to be talked about? I'm sorry.
No, it's not allowed to be talked about. No.
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
Hey, Zach, you just said FBI and talk about. No. We
Yeah,
don't do that.
clearly you don't understand what the FBI does.
All right, hey guys, there's a black crowd outside my house. I'll be right back.
Oh man, dude,
can't...
I think the stream just got shut down.
Keith, I'm sorry, man.
Oh my God.
I didn't know. I should have known. I'm sorry.
This is one of the questions you should have asked when you were asking the other questions.
Oh man.
Okay,
hey, guys, we had a good run. I love you all. See you later.
Our next episode is gonna be called Rock Detained. Get it? Because detained prison. Okay, never mind.
No, but it was wild because like here I am. I'm like opening up for all these bands, and I'm like, this is it. Fuck yeah, we're gonna take the gravy train. But he was weird. He was flat out weird on the road. He was flat out weird on live shows. He was flat out weird. Things were just rough. It was just the record shipped 300,000 records. They sold like only 3,000.
What happened with the Kiss tour?
Okay, so Jesse gets this call for a meeting, and we're living in the same apartment. We were living at the Red Square in New York City. Now, the Red Square in New York City in 1998 is like Heather Graham, the Spin Doctors, the actress from Roseanne. I can't remember her name.
Roseanne Barr.
No, comedian, one of the comedians. There was like a wild, eccentric crew living in like this crowd, and it was just a wild thing. At 20 years old, I'm like, this is just, I'm living the dream, And he gets this call, and he's like, yo, he tells me that he's meeting with Kiss, and I'm like, I pay no attention. I'm living in the beautiful Lower East Side, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get a bite to eat.
Do you remember what you ate?
Might have been Chinese food. Nothing better than New York City Chinese food, hands down.
I disagree.
However, Philadelphia is a different story. Philadelphia is the best. But who do you think, TJ? Minnesota?
I was gonna say, I like the chicken and rice at night at like 3 in the morning. Just the random street I go.
In Minnesota? Yeah.
No, in New York.
In New York. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm talking New York. I've been there twice, though, so I
well, that's not enough. So, long story short, which is never short, I come back and there's a voicemail. I couldn't believe it. And it's Gene Simmons. And I'm like, he leaves me this message. And basically, Jesse's like, was told by Kiss, they're like, listen, we're going to take you on the road for 2 years. You're going to be the band for the farewell tour. We're going to sell all your albums. We're going to get your money back. We're going to promote you. We're going to get you up to where you need to be the next level. And Kiss is very famous for that. They've done that for a handful of bands by escorting them onto tour and showing them the way and promoting them to rock stardom, And he goes and blows it, just flat out blows it, just dropped off the face of the earth. No regard for the band, no regard for the art, no regard for the business or anything like that. It was really sad. It was very bizarre.
How long before the tour did he disappear?
It's not like there was any pre-production at all of any sort. There was no production of any sort. It was like, we're going on tour with Kiss, and I'm like, this is it. I'm gonna break through. I'm gonna find my way. I'm gonna figure out a way. And it was supposed to be about 9 months before this or so, maybe a year. no less, no more than that.
Right
But
on.
and I was just praying for this, like 2000, the year the tour of 2000. I think it was like farewell 2001. So it was like it sent me into a wicked spin. Uh, as a 21-year-old doing things I shouldn't be doing and talking about at 21, it sent me into a wild spin. I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was just poof, gone. All this hard work, all this whole thing. But he blew it, and I regret not being honest about it years ago in interviews and stuff like that. I think I should have been a little bit more honest about it, but I'm being honest about it with you guys.
I appreciate it. Do you by any chance have a sound clip of that message?
Of of the message?
Yeah, that you said Gene called you while you were getting Chinese food.
You know, let me see here. So it's bizarre because you got to imagine like there's this boom box that's like this big in his room, and I'm like, I see this message, and I'm like, hold on a second. I see this message, and I'm like, I can't believe there's a message here. I'm like, I just walked out of the room. I've been gone 15 minutes, and I hear the message. And the first thing I say to myself is, okay, you missed the phone call. Fuck it. But Gene Simmons just called you. It's 1997. Find a way, record this. Make sure you have this for the rest of your life. I don't like to be one of those guys that I'm not trying to live off this or anything like that, but it's kind of special. It's kind of cute. It's kind of awesome. So I walk out, and so you have to picture the scenario. Gene and Paul are out at a meeting with Charlie Stetler, which is Jesse's manager, who was a very famous manager in New York City. He did the Fat Boys, Michael Monroe, DJ Scribble, all the big MTV acts, and Jesse Camp. So it's the four of them, and the guy laughing is probably Charlie Stetler. Jesse starts the call because he's like, Keith, where are you? Like like duh, I just left the room, and he's like, where are you? So you got to picture him being like, oh my God, I can't believe you idiot, you're missing this. But then I'm like, oh my God, I have this for the rest of my life. So
there's something cool that you do get to keep that, because if you would have answered the phone, you wouldn't have
been
this.
Bizarre. You ready to hear it? Here we go. Tape recorder.
Keith! Hey, Keith, if you're there, pick up. Gene, I know you can. Hi, Keith. It's Gene Simmons. My boss, Jesse Camp, told me to call you. And yes, boss. Yes, boss. He told me to call you and leave a message. And I hear you do a great Ace. So if Ace gets sick, maybe you want to jump up on stage and rock out a little bit. So I hope to meet you one day. See you, bye.
Dude,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm like, oh my God, here's the opportunity. But, what fate should be is that he drops off the face of the earth, and I ruffle a couple people's feathers, and before you know it, we're not opening up for Kiss. So like the next couple of years of my life, I was just like, what am I doing? It's like, how do I get this? How do I get that back?
Would you say you went down a wild street?
Ooh.
Yo,
I was waiting for it. I was gonna plug it too.
can I go get a beer? Would I be rude?
No, that'd be the first time ever someone's left the podcast to get a beer.
There you go, Zach. That might be the best pun of the podcast so far.
There was another moment or two I thought about jumping in, but I was gonna let the story.
That was perfectly timed.
Thank you.
Yeah, because this
man.
is gonna take a beer. I could promise you. So I don't know. You want me to keep babbling?
Well, we've now.
Do whatever you want. You're yes. We're on the wild. We're on a wild street now.
So Zach has brought this up. So
you got to imagine. Like, the cool thing. A couple cool things is, I do love Jesse. He like a mama bird, he brought me in and he gave me that opportunity. So it's just hard because, I hated that it didn't go. I hated that there wasn't that responsibility for there, but I'm also very proud of it. So, I'll always love him. I just want to say that.
Hey man, I'm a firm believer in everything happens the way it's supposed to.
Of course. No, absolutely.
And who knows
like,
Go ahead.
No, please.
I mean, who knows? If you would have went on that Kiss tour, you and I may have never met. Which means I wouldn't know TJ. I know Robin because we went to school together.
Yeah, we went to high school together. But no, and I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to that. Being in a band with someone that doesn't quite get it, almost in a sense.
Especially the Star.
Yeah, and yeah, you're sitting there and it's you see all of this just opportunity, this potential, this basically all of these questions that you're like, we can get the answers to these if you just do these things, and they don't, and I've been there, I get that, and you get these great opportunities with them, and then you just get to kind of watch them sail on, so.
Crazy.
Because I mean, then we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So
of course, no, everything happens for a reason, for sure.
We'll get to you.
Zach.
We'll get to you in a second, Zach. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm just curious if we have any questions or comments in the comments section, because there's definitely been some controversial things talked about, and I just wanted to see if anyone had any questions.
We haven't had any questions come into the comments section yet. Oh, for those typing in the comments, I am the only one that can see them, so the other three guys can't. But if you have any questions for Keith or for us or for any of this craziness that we're talking about, shoot them over. We'll
shoot them down.
Them. Yeah. We'll shoot him over. You shoot him over, and I'll shoot him down. I'm kidding. I won't.
Hey, thank you for clarifying that, because I bet you some people think those assholes aren't responding to anything we're saying.
Well, we
can't see it.
There was one person, and I'm gonna butcher the name that he put in there, but there's one person. Uzi Vicious, put TJ.
Nice.
TJ Jesse Camp looks like Sam Waylander. It's WEU Lander. And
So that's our number one fan, Timothy Gibson.
Aha!
Name drop. That is Uzi in Minnesota fame. Rock Gods fame.
Okay.
Him and Sam play together in a band, and actually, the day after my birthday, Rock Gods took stage, and it was like the first live concert I'd seen in like months, and probably the last one I've seen in forever. But if I show you a picture of Sam, Keith, you'll probably be like, okay.
Really? That's awesome.
They're great people, though. Sam's a great guy. They're a great guitar player.
Oh, does he have bell bottoms that are like 9 feet wide?
That's the only... No.
Jesse had these bell bottoms that would be like the biggest bells you'd ever seen. Like, even Andy Warhol has never worn anything like this.
Prove it. Prove it.
I got some crazy photos I'm trying to dig up. Some cool shit.
Dude, I like bell bottoms. I think there's something rock and roll about them.
You know what was pretty rock and roll about Jesse is that we owned in New York City for like 6 months. It was wild. There was a buzz going on. If you ever been to New York City in the 90s, there was a club called Continental, and we did 3 nights in a row, and it was packed with people out the door, and it was just like raw power, raw energy. And like I said, I brought up like those musicians that I played with. That was a real honor and very humbling experience to play with Sammy, Todd, and Joe. So you got to imagine now. Imagine being on stage with Jesse, right? But then you're playing with these 3 other incredible musicians, incredible powerhouse musicians, and people who I looked up to. So it sounded great and everything like that, but it was really a lot to take in sometimes.
I gotta call the guys out.
Well, we were looking up Jesse Camp.
They were both on their phones at the same time, and on my screen, they're both just looking down.
I was-
you know what?
I'm listening and trying to find a picture.
I'm gonna try this
All right, man.
game. What's this called? Bubble Bust. Let's play Bubble Bust right now.
Keith, I was
Hold
listening
on.
to you, brother.
I was listening. I was
Hold
just
on.
looking up Jesse
Oh,
Camp.
I like this game.
I was looking up Jesse Camp, and you're right. He did have very big bell bottoms.
It's crazy. Man, there's so many stories out there, but
So after all of this Jesse Camp craziness,
Puberty.
Yeah.
yes,
puberty. It was puberty.
it was puberty.
Which
Then you hit puberty, and no. But after all this Jesse Camp craziness,
So I went from puberty to drug addict really fast. It was like, it wasn't a step-by-step action. It went really fast. And that's how I spent my next 4 or 5 years figuring life out.
hey,
Was
so-
this because of
No, it
losing
was
the
just
Jesse gig?
It was just because it was just like life, like, you know, like how do I get back up there? You know, it was, you know, I don't know. It wasn't easy. I didn't find it easy to get a band or find something that I was trying to be involved with. At that point, I started dreaming up my own original band, which is still dear to me today, called Zonked, which comes down at the end of the line. But those couple of years, I was just trying to, I was thinking I can get some original music done, but you know, those 4 or 5 years, it was tough because the first version of Zonk, we could never nail a singer. We could never, ever nail a singer between those years. We tried so hard. We wanted to be a little too much like Led Zeppelin, and we found a producer who was going to work with us, and then it just kind of some weird things fell apart. It was the first rendition of Zonk was truly one of my favorite renditions. It's all original music, and it was just a very, very special thing. But between 2001 and 2006-07, it was just real tough times. That's when I started working and shit like that. It was you know, playing with working with bands and stuff like that. Then I just kind of couldn't find my way. I thought, I don't know how I'm going to top that. You know, couldn't find people that really wanted to do what I wanted to do.
it can be really tough to find those people.
It was sad because like I was kind of hoping I can kind of like piggyback into something else, but I take some responsibility. I think looking back, I could have worked a little harder, and I think I'm kind of sad about that in my present, that I didn't take the responsibility that I had wanted out of Jesse in my own self, and I was kind of I kind of regret not working harder at it. I kind of let it go for a while. So, but you know, like I said, I was creating Zonk at that point, and the idea and the vision and the sound of it, but I was still just basically doing nothing, you know, up until about 2008.
Which is where you Wild Streeted?
Yeah, so I Wild Street.
This is where he took a
I mean-
walk down the Wild Street.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I have
So
a good
I-
idea.
Yeah,
You said idea. I just wanted to repeat that. Okay, go on.
I was anxious to play with a band, as I always am, because I had realized that the members of Zonk at that time were just kind of, their life was taking off in different methods, and I had no path, no life, no future, nothing. I was just kind of balls to the walls, kind of a punk, kind of just a punk, real punk guitar player, and kind of gutter punk guy. And I was up to no good and looking for a band, kind of looking for a way out of New York. And I got a CD from a friend named Valerie in New York City, and her handing me that CD kind of saved my life. I heard this band called Wild Street, and I was like, well, you know, this is kind of cool shit. I learned it. I went down. I think I have the audition on tape somewhere. I've done some crazy tapings in my life. I like to record memories, and I like to, either whether it be audio or video, I've always been passionate about trying to get some rare moments in life on tape. And I have this moment on tape somewhere. But we clicked. I think they were looking for what I had, and I didn't know what I was looking for, but I couldn't believe I found it. They put together their first album that they put together. First album was called Wild Street. I didn't play on, but they worked on this. Eric Jake and Jimmy Marlowe. They created the band Wild Street, and they put a lot of time and a lot of funky business into putting this first album together. And to me, it sounds like a really, really, really good Def Leppard album. And I was totally turned on by it. I just couldn't believe there was this concept. You know, I could see me playing my style of guitar into this band. We got to know each other real well. We hit it off right off the bat. We worked really hard for a year. We rehearsed in New York City. Now, in the entire globe of the entire world, it's one thing being in Long Island. It's another thing being in New York City. But having a rehearsal studio in New York City in Times Square is like kind of like the pin center of the world. And I kind of did whatever it took. And, you know, God bless my father, let me borrow his car. I mean, I was down in the dumps. I had nothing. You know, it was really a rough time. And I did whatever it took to get back and forth to New York City to make sure that I was there for this and committed to it. We went on a wild, wild ass tour. The music was great. The performances were great. The crowds were never there. We got mixed up with some bad booking agency from Texas, no less, which is a whole nother story. I mean, some rough, wild stories. I mean, I tell you, it was crazy, you know. That whole tour was a really, really life-changing tour. Completely life-changing tour. I met my wife at Rocklahoma. You know, I have to say, did I tell you guys before earlier who Rob Cavallo was? The producer for Green Day that produced Jesse Camp. So I meant to tell you guys that earlier. The producer for Jesse Camp was Rob Cavallo. The album before Jesse Camp, he had produced Dookie.
Wow.
So could you imagine going from Dookie to Jesse Camp and like, et cetera, et cetera? And the only reason why I bring this up is because Wild Street had a really, really, really good producer, and Eric worked very well with them. His name is Kyle Kelso. And they worked incredibly close together to perfect this sound that was really top of the line. We got to recording an EP together after a year of tour and whatnot. And it was truly one of the best recordings ever. It was truly one of the greatest bands I've ever played with. They both kind of put me through hell and also saved my life in so many ways.
I listened to that EP today.
Me too.
The Wild Street 2. And dude, I gotta tell you, Hot Licks and Cocked and Ready.
So, you know, TJ, you know, me and TJ met during Wild Street tour, and I'll never forget TJ. My favorite part of TJ ever is remembering him at such a young age. And we pulled up to this club in Minnesota. Now, when Wild Street toured, I mean, we toured our asses off in a van, a 16-passenger van that was graffitied like a New York City train. Okay, so we'd be rolling into towns like Topeka, Kansas, and anywhere in Wisconsin, Minnesota, all over the world, blasting hip hop, coming out with black and pink leather glam rock and roll, because we loved hip hop, but we'd be blasting it and open up the doors with this humongous van with spray paint all over it. And TJ remembers this. I mean, it was a wild scene. It was something you'd never seen. It had the elements of Van Halen. It had the elements of Rat and Motley Crue. It was everything that should have happened for rock and roll. It should have stayed together. It should have gone all the way. People should have been more interested. Managers should have been more interested. Investors should have been more interested. But one of my favorite memories is TJ.
TJ, how did you find out about this band?
That is a very good question. And if I have to be completely honest...
No, lie to us. Gosh, why does everyone say, can I be honest?
Well, like assuming the truth in my brain.
Lie a little bit.
This is back in literally Facebook was barely taking off. So I think it was still like a MySpace thing or something. And I think I had gotten tickets to Rocklahoma with one of my buddies and another buddy who I never thought would actually even go, but he did. And I somehow acquired the Wild Street EP and CD.
Probably first album at that point.
Yeah. If you guys know what a CD is, it's a round thing.
It's plastic.
We listen to that like
it's round.
Yeah. We listen to that.
It's shiny on one side.
The whole way
shiny.
down.
Thanks.
And like, I can't tell you what age I was, but I was 21 for the sake of the story.
FBI.
And we went to Rocklahoma, and Wild Street was side stage, and he had a decent crew, my friend. But
so
also
you were
like
at 2009 Rocklahoma?
2009, yeah.
So you would be 19.
Okay.
That's not true.
I don't want to sidestep you, but I'm going to tell a story about that Rocklahoma when you're done.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, we went, and we were pumped to see Wild Street. I think Anthrax played, like Leatherwolf, like some obscure 80s bands, which was great.
Anthrax is obscure?
Well, no, like, just, I said Leatherwolf, and then said obscure.
Oh, okay.
So I said,
Did Twisted
let's
Sister-
just Anthrax. Yeah.
Did Twisted Sister play 2009 or 2010?
So I was trying to remember, I think 2009.
Oh, okay, because
think.
I remember going to see them and say hello to them in my whole get up before that, and they played.
Yeah, I think Striper played and stuff. I'm trying to go through the list of bands in my brain, but I remember like seeing you guys like 8 times a day because you played like 8 shows a day.
So in Wichita, Kansas, we were on the road trying to get to Wichita, Kansas, because a couple of the members of the band, their significant others, were coming in. So I'm power driving to get to Wichita, and we have a gig there the next night. And I remember eating a bag of something, bag of road food, nuts, bolts, whatever it was in over there. You know, the Asian mix and everything like that. All that good stuff that people eat on the roads. I'm just power eating. And then we decide when we get there, and I mean, this is when we were all 90 pounds wet, you know, so I could eat like that. Not so much anymore. But we go to get some sushi in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, boy.
Gas station sushi?
Not quite, kind of, sort of. All I could remember was this like young kid like screaming and crying in the back, and I heard like, I'm like, oh my god, we're getting sushi. Like the only people here, we're eating sushi in Wichita, Kansas. What are we doing here? Somewhere around 5 a.m., I'm tossing and turning and tossing and turning and tossing and turning, and I look at the other two knuckleheads. I'm like, guys, dudes, you got to take me to the hospital like now. And they're like, I'm like,
Good friends.
you tell me about it. It's Jimmy and Allie. Wild Street was Eric, Jimmy, Allie, and Beck.
I was
And
going to say
Keith.
Beck, right? Yeah.
That was the original Wild Street. It'll always be the original Wild Street. It will always be the only Wild Street. There, I said it.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first. Tuxie, come up here. Okay. So, long story short, which is never short, I basically, at like 5 a.m, I get into the van and I drive myself to the hospital because these assholes are not waking up. They want nothing to do with me. So I drive myself to the hospital. I'm like, something's wrong. They're like checking me out. They're like, well, we're not quite sure we're going to get this. About like 4 hours later, they show up. Now, remember, I don't have a like smartphone at this point, even in 2009. I'm on the old flip phone. I love the flip phone. I still love the flip phone. I haven't called anybody. Nobody knows where we are. They found me. They walk in. They're like, "What the fuck's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I can't do anything, if that makes sense. I can't fucking. My body's going nuts. I don't know what's going on." But I'm like, we got to get to so we cancel Wichita. I'm like, we have to get to Pryor, Oklahoma. So here we are. We're like this up and coming band in America. And like we have 5 appearances in 4 days. We're going to play twice on the opening day, and we're going to close out the event on Sunday night. And I'm like, this is going to be the greatest thing in my entire life. I thought I had hit rock and roll stardom because we were a real band at this point. We were a real rock and roll band. We sounded good. We played good. We partied good. And we were a true rock and roll stench on earth. And it was beautiful. So here comes stench. Rock and roll stench. We were going to leave a stench on earth that was going to just last forever like the old bands did. We were proud of it.
Like a cologne.
Oh,
Rock and roll stench.
Rock and roll does not smell like a cologne.
No, it does not. So
Just
long
imagine,
story
like,
short,
emos.
we get to Pryor, Oklahoma, and I'm basically crawling on the camper. I can't move. I can't walk. I'm in
Did
the
they
most.
tell you what's wrong with you?
Not really. So, not really. So
What's hurting?
my stomach.
Point to what hurts, Keith.
Where did the sushi touch you?
Down here.
Okay. So, did you throw up or anything?
I couldn't do either.
Either?
Yes.
So we just rock and rolled.
Oh.
I couldn't do either. Now, I wasn't smart enough. I'll leave that part out. But we do the first show, and I'm in hysterical pain. It's like 12 p.m. It's Oklahoma. It's like 125 degrees.
Ugh.
Stupid. It's disgusting.
I think it was
So then
126 actually.
Yes, that's correct. We go back to the trailer. The aircon breaks on the trailer.
Oh no.
Now I'm sleeping in this all day. We have a gig at 12 a.m. and I'm in the most hysterical pain I've ever been in my life. I'm asking for drugs. I'm asking for anything that can get me. I'll take illicit drugs. I'll take whatever drugs to get me out of this pain. I don't care. So basically, before the show, like the cops show up and the ambulance shows up. They check my artery. They're like, oh, I got like escorted over there, and the whole show, there's the ambulance and oxygen tanks on. Now, in the back of my head, I'm going, this is the fucking most rock and roll fucking thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. This is so cool, okay? Because it's a story. I see it happening, but I'm in hysterical pain, and I know that this is a real problem. So I always told everybody that I played the second show at Rocklahoma, like Joe Perry. Joe Perry was famous for being high on heroin and keeping his back turned to the entire crowd because he couldn't face the crowd because he was so friggin' high. But at this point, at this term, I'm actually in so much pain. I'm not dancing. I'm not jumping. I'm not levitating. I'm not facing the crowd. I'm not telling the world I'm going to take you by storm. None of the above. I want the show over with, and I want to go to the hospital. Show's over, guitar down. It was like a Led Zeppelin like barricade. Cops, ambulance, they all took me to the second hospital. Second hospital's like shot me up with some great morphine. I'm out of pain, but I'm like, something's still wrong. They're like, we don't have the tools to fix you right here. They sent me to Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is an hour away.
So this is the third hospital at this point.
Third hospital.
Well, in Tulsa, like I think that was where Rocklahoma like is like, hey, you guys want to stay at the Hard Rock in Tulsa? It's right by Rocklahoma.
Yeah,
it was like
exactly.
the sponsored hotel, but it was like an hour away.
Yeah, there was no motels or hotels.
This is before Uber and Lyft, kids.
Yeah, get out of here, puppy. Go. So long story short, which is never short, I get to the third hospital and some things happen to me I'd rather not say on live TV, but
All right.
It was a very sad moment in my sleep.
Oh boy.
And
The pauses.
and I had to throw away my favorite jammies.
Oh God.
And I had to throw them away. It was bad. It was bad. I did it in my sleep. And the nurse comes in and I go,
Tell me
so
she was hot.
sorry.
Tell me she was hot.
You know. And I say, I'm really, really sorry. I'm so embarrassed. She goes, it's okay. I see it all the time. I go, well, you don't understand. The boys come and pick me up, and they stop at Sears, and they get like a woman's set of pajamas to bring me back to Rocklahoma, and they shove like 5 joints in my mouth, and I'm like, so now at this point you have to imagine I had seen God, and I said to myself, I feel fucking amazing. I gotta go. The doctor's like, you're not going anywhere. I'm like, you're taking out these fucking needles right now, and I'm fucking leaving on Sunday, and I'm not missing the last show, which would happen to be the show that changed my life forever, meeting my wife. So the fact that I got back, so like the whole weekend, like Striper on stage sent a prayer out to me Okay, Kix sent wishes out to me. I think Kip Winger said something. I think some other people, like the whole buzz got around, and everybody was saying stuff about, "Whoa, the guitar player from Wild Street's dead." Oh no, he's not dead. He's not dead. He's dead. He's not dead. He's not dead. It was legend. It was like a
Sure.
great moment in rock and roll. But I come back and the fucking place is jam packed. The whole crowd from Twisted Sister came over to watch us on the last show, and it was mammoth. The people were going nuts. I came back. I was like 30 pounds less. I mean, I came back like skinny as anything, and it was the wildest night of my life, greatest show ever, and met my wife.
Dude, okay, a question. Did are you friends with the Twisted Sister camp at this point?
Absolutely.
Okay, I
I have
didn't
a
know.
very, very, very special bond with Twisted Sister crew.
No, I know
and
that,
even
but
Twisted Sister.
we haven't talked about that yet. We haven't. When did they come into your life?
So you have to imagine now. Let's get the record straight here. I tell stuff to people, at my company. They're like, "No way, no way." Kids are like, "No way, no way." I'm like, "Listen to me. I worked 1,000,001 jobs in my life, but somehow I accomplished all this rock and roll in the middle of it." Because I kind of prided myself in making sure I had some money coming in. So I always had to have something happening for myself.
There's nothing wrong with that, dude.
No, but now you have to imagine, I've known D since 1998, 99. And once you meet D, he'll never forget you. Through the years after the Jesse Camp thing, I played with a band called The Flames. Those were very, very special people to me. They were a very good band for the time for me to escape and be a part of things, but we got to play for D a lot of the times. I got to know D through a couple of years of just seeing him around town, working at the clubs, and then somewhere around like 2003, 2004, my brother at the time was playing for D bass. So at one point,
your bro, like your real brother.
yes, my real brother, my blood brother, yes.
Okay.
So he was playing for D at the time, and I kind of went on a gig, and the tour manager's like, "Hey, lift this amp, lift this amp." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, whatever, sure, I'll lift this amp. I'll do anything. I don't care."
Did he say it in a New York accent like that?
Yeah.
Hey, lift this amp.
Hey, lift this amp. Hey, lift this amp. He smacked me. But early on, I was just like helping out and yada, yada, yada. And at the end of that gig, he was like, I'm like, "How much? For what?" I was like, "Okay, when's the next gig and can I be a part of it?" And from that moment on, from D's solo gigs, I was always working for Twisted Sister. There were a couple of years on and off throughout the years, stuff like that, when I took priorities like Wild Street coming up into 2008 and 2009, but they always allowed me to come and go. And I imagine, I mean, it's 2003. I think my first away gig was like 2006 with Twisted Sister in Bulgaria. It's my first European gig, and I started teching for Twisted Sister for many years all over Europe and South America, Canada, Russia, and a lot of places I wish I did go. I didn't go to South Korea. They went to South Korea. That was amazing. But I mean, throughout the years, I worked so many times with them.
Sure.
So and I'm gonna interject here because I want to know this stuff. So you eventually ended up playing with Twisted Sister and Dee Snider and all of them.
Well, I have to say Dee Snider.
Okay.
Right. I never officially played with Twisted Sister.
Okay.
I was kind of like one of their lead techs for a strong while, but it had gotten to a point where it was kind of like, just be prepared just in case. And as a fan of Twisted Sister my whole life, it's like Kiss and Twisted Sister go hand in hand.
Yeah.
As far as my brain knowing how to play any song, when you say play it, I go, okay, I can play it. It's Twisted Sister and Kiss. It's the easiest. It's locked into my head. I can't lose it.
Right.
I just prepared myself for things, and I always knew that Dee had a solo band. I was very kind of jealous. I always wanted to play with Dee. There was an opportunity to play with Twisted Sister once, which
It might have been there.
I don't think so. It was in Germany.
Oh, I was gonna say, because Rocktember that one year, I remember JJ's back was hurting.
That's right. I forgot about that. You are totally right. JJ came to me. It was in immense pain, and everybody's like, "Are you sure you got this?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Bring the champagne, darling. Bring on the fun." I'm like, I got the choreography. I got it all. Let's go. I don't care. Let's do this. There were different conditions when it happened for Eddie's spot over in Germany, and it got about this close to the opportunity. I mean, and to be honest with you, I had made a decision in my life. If I had played this gig, I would have given up music for the rest of my life. Yes, Zach. And I'll tell you why. It was 110,000 people. And at that point, I have to be honest with myself and say to myself, how are you ever going to top this?
Yeah, that's a fair question.
How can I ever top this? How could I have ever? I mean, I was ready. I was probably ready up until about 6 hours up until the gig.
Here's how you top it.
Yep.
200,000 people.
Well, I mean,
Kiss.
I do see where you're coming from, and I definitely understand. However, I mean, dude, let's take for example the shows that we did with D, you and I.
I did want to save that for a special.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
Montage, yeah, but go ahead. I would like you to
oh, I'm sorry. Then I'll.
No.
Okay.
No,
well, then
I wasn't saving it for me. I'm just saying that's a very, very special moment in my life that D came to me and said, well, there's a solo opportunity. Do you want to be ready for it? I said, yes, and then a couple shows in, through a couple rotations, Zach came into it. And for me, it's we go on tour with a lot of people that there's a couple people in our lives that we just absolutely love. And me and Zach are family, and Zach is family with everybody. And Zach makes you feel like he's your best friend, whether you're a fan, whether you're a friend, whether you're a family. When he's on tour with all his acts and everything like that, he is probably somebody that reminds me like Eddie Van Halen. A, his playing, and B, his generosity. He's just, you make people feel very special. But I'm very blessed to call you one of my best friends and family to me. And to have played those shows with D with you is something that I can never ever top.
Well, bless you. Thank you.
There's a picture of y'all two on stage together, isn't there?
There's a couple.
Yeah, but the one that always keeps getting, or the one that I always keep seeing is it's you and D, Keith, up front, and Zach is like way in the background,
smiling,
just like standing there.
But he's smiling. He's like so proud of the moment that's happening.
Hey, look.
And I know that there's not to get too technical on gear, but I know that you guys were talking a couple shows ago. I gotta say for the record, one of my favorite persons to play with is Zach because of his tone. Because he had a harder edge tone and I had a more classical tone, it was a very, very awesome compliment. Very, very complimenting of each other. So,
well, thank you.
And I think that's because. Oh, sorry, Zach.
Oh,
no, please, TJ.
I was gonna say that's because Zach doesn't let you touch his guitar before.
God, when Zach touches my guitar, I want to burn it. I just want to set it on fire. I'm like, I can't play like that. Why are you embarrassing me? Stop
it. If I remember correctly, every night when we did the duel, the crowd went crazy for you, big boy. They love the Keithy.
One of my favorite moments, a couple of times I think it happened. Zach just kind of, I don't know, was there like a technical difficulty at one point or something like that?
Probably.
And you made the best of it because when you smiled through it, the crowd just went with it. It was so good. It was so very good.
Hey man, a smile or some headbanging that can cover up a lot.
Absolutely.
But the reason I brought up the wow, there was a point to the story.
I know it's easy
Hey,
to
think
forget
about it.
these days.
I gotta bring something up to Keith.
Okay,
see if
go
he
for it,
knows.
buddy.
Remember
Shit, I was gonna get a beer.
Rockin' the Dells? And I
Yes.
said, bro, you have to go for the full house here. I think it was a full house with your poker.
Right.
You put your money in, and I said,
Yeah.
go for the full house. You want like $400? Just throwing that out there. Now
Is
you're
that the show that you came to with us?
turned
Yeah,
into
yeah.
a four. It turned into a four of a kind, I think. Queens.
something like that. I said, bro,
Yeah.
you gotta go for it. You gotta believe, Peter.
Yeah, I think that just kind of made up for the alcohol bill that I had set up the night before. Unfortunately, I didn't really cash in on anything.
Hey, anyways, let's plug Spotted Cow one more time. Spotted Cow, your beer is delicious. Thank you, Wisconsin. We really like your beer.
Yes, Robin.
So
Hand this up.
I feel that this since we took a sidestep into poker, I could take another sidestep. We got a probably one of the best questions we've gotten so far.
We got a question.
Yeah, we got a question, and probably one of the best questions we've gotten just on the show in general, because I just think
Wow.
it's creative.
Because I asked some stupid questions.
Once a week.
Um,
Is it how many times a week do I wash my hair?
Can I
Once.
grab another beer before you ask it?
Yes.
Absolutely. Go for
yes.
it. You're our guest. We don't care.
I did remember what I was going
Hey,
to say, but
hey, Mom, stop texting the wrong group.
Mom.
The meatloaf.
I just imagine you like turning like to your door and screaming at Robin as if you were at her house. Mom, you're texting the wrong group.
That just reminds me of the
boys,
the-
boys.
the scene from Mr. and Mrs.
You
Smith
think I was an Irishman,
when he
huh? I am.
something happens, he like cocks. I don't know. He didn't have his headphones in, so he couldn't hear that we were talking. Which is there's
We're
no.
having a conversation. You're just in here, boys.
Anyways, so this question is directed at Keith. But
It is.
But he did turn around and I responded to him and he said, I'm interested in everyone's pick here. But he said, Keith, you're traveling down the road at an extremely high rate of speed. Your brakes go out and you have 3 minutes before you're thrown off a cliff. What's the last song you listen to?
I know the answer to this.
2
Go
minutes
on.
58. 2
Do
minutes
you?
57.
Do you know the answer to this?
I know my answer. I don't know your answer.
At this point, you can't get a 3-minute song in, so you better be careful.
It
Oh,
has
I-
to be a 3-minute song.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it
it's
can
a
be
joke.
whatever.
It's a joke.
You
It's
just,
a joke.
go out on the last chorus.
Zach, while he's thinking, what's your song?
No questions asked. All she wrote.
By.
What?
Wow. Firehouse.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
can I tell you?
Bye, baby, bye-bye. She wrote in a letter. Ow! Dude,
Right?
is that not the perfect going out song?
Yeah, if you get the
no,
chorus
if-
right.
I've had a different opinion of Firehouse my whole life.
Well, this is a pro Firehouse podcast.
Yeah.
So be careful
Sorry,
what
I
you
know
say.
I'm outnumbered.
Well, technically, it's 2-1. I'm indifferent. They're good. I like them. They're on my
And
list, but
Rob,
I'm not.
Kelly Bob.
I'm not like I don't know them well enough to consider myself a
this-
fan.
Oh, well, maybe that's what
Yeah,
you have to
I
start
need
with.
to
Is
start-
actually get to know
Yeah,
them.
that's
bro.
why I said I'm indifferent. Like, I have
Good
no
luck getting a
opinion.
Photoshop this week, bro.
Oh, Zach.
But what's your song, Keith?
Dude, I mean,
I'm not gonna let you get away from this one.
I got to come up with a song. I mean,
You got 1 minute 59 seconds left now for a song.
a minute 59.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's shortened up now.
Yeah.
At this
Yeah.
point, you have to pick.
Now it's
Are we-
just
that-
the theme song.
that cliff
Are
is.
we
It's
all-
gonna be
almost
eruption.
done? No,
It's
no.
gonna be eruption at this
But that cliff is coming up.
I think I would choose Black Diamond by Kiss.
Okay,
Ooh.
Keith, TJ.
What's a reverse Uno card to you, Robin?
Open Road Song by Eve 6.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm gonna go Sweet Child of Mine. I'll just get the solo in. We'll figure it out. That's my
Wow.
favorite song of all time. It still is. It stands up.
Dang.
You know that song was written, or he came up with that lick,
Yeah, like
as a
doing,
joke.
like Carnival. Yeah, like Carnival. Like, check this out. What do you guys think? They're like, I like that.
Oh,
Yeah. He was like, "Look, I'm
Yeah,
one of
that's
I'm one of those pop rock bands." And he's like,
Yeah.
"That's the story I've heard." Is he's like making fun of these pop rock bands and like playing this lick, and Axel's like, "Wait a minute, hold on." Like,
You're
Max
on
is
it.
like,
back up.
I like that.
Hey, can I?
It's
Excuse
things
me.
like that.
Could
that
all
are-
please bring back something? Hey Keith.
Hey, Russell Brand.
So back to what you were saying about how do I top this? That's what I was gonna say to you, and that's
Yeah.
why I brought up D. Dude, I don't think size really or number of people.
Don't tell me size doesn't matter.
I was gonna.
Don't tell
Because-
me size doesn't matter.
Okay, I mean, dude. So with D, I mean, we
16.
played. What?
Nothing. Never mind. It was a joke.
We-
It was a
we
joke
played
for
some-
TJ.
We played some big sheds and the casinos and stuff, but dude, my favorite show was the little club we did
Pennsylvania?
where people were like in our faces. I mean, that was one of the
It was a
best
rock
nights of my
show.
life.
Jengles?
I thought it had an interesting name. Maybe it was
Jingles.
Huber Heights or something.
Jengles in Pennsylvania, like almost out of Pittsburgh. somewhere.
I don't know, but it was a 2-story club where people were in your grill, and then
In your grill, rock and rolling.
it was hot and sweaty, and that was
Stinky,
one of the
stenchy.
funnest. Yeah, dude. And it had
Yeah,
that cool
and-
green
and-
room upstairs.
And in all fairness, to be honest, because I can be honest with you guys, and I want to be more honest in life with being outspoken about things. I think we were just getting cooking there. It's unfortunate there were not many gigs more after that. But we were just getting cooking right there. It was getting tighter. It was getting much better. I think we sounded really, really exceptional that night, and I can't imagine what we would have sounded like down the line.
Jurgles.
Sturgills. I think
Jurgles.
that's it. Jurgles.
Jurgles. Wow.
Thank you.
TJ with
How'd you
the
find that out?
Wow.
I
Did you
have
text Cha Cha?
What did I say? Jengles?
That's
No
close.
one-
I was in the Christmas spirit too.
Really, guys? No one caught what I just said?
I didn't
TJ
hear
didn't
you.
catch my joke earlier, so it's cool.
I did.
Oh,
Oh, 16, but you didn't do it right. 16 inches. Brett Michaels.
Cheers.
Guys, do y'all remember there used to be a text service where you would text any question to Cha Cha,
Yeah, Cha-Cha.
CHACHA?
No, ask Jeeves.
Or Cha Cha. They were both the
It
same
was-
thing,
it was a
basically.
joke. No, I remember Cha Cha. Cha Cha was weird.
This is your guys kind of showing me how old I am right now.
No, you don't look a day over 23.
Yeah. Sha.
Keith, you were on MTV. We just watched MTV.
Yeah, dude, you got us
There-
beat, bro.
There were some funny times on MTV because, like, I'd be hanging around MTV studios with Jesse
I've
all
got
the time.
I've got the Kiss video pulled up.
Which one?
It's Dress to Kill. Yeah, the Dress to Kill Kiss tribute band. I don't know. It's focused.
Probably not us.
It's focused on.
Probably
Are you
not
sure
us.
it's-
No, no. This looks like a video from like '98, but it's just the bass player. Like the camera's just focused on the bass player. So
No,
Yeah,
Not
Keith
us.
didn't play the bass
I
player.
know.
not us.
Come on, bro.
I know that.
No, it's hard to find stuff about us.
Penalty box, bro. You done.
Some guy named James Hall posted it. Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Damn. I'll keep looking. YouTube's
Nope.
got a lot of videos. So
Okay,
What was
so
that?
we got. Sorry.
What was I gonna say before that? It was just some great, amazing story I had to say. Can't even remember it. What were we talking about before that?
Something about Pennsylvania, rocking out, doing the thing,
I don't know, but
taking off.
I'm feeling. God, I really wish I could have a glass of whiskey. Like,
Can't?
I can't. My dentist was like, don't drink anything heavy or just water for right now. And I'm like, ugh, this sucks. So
No smoking either.
nope, nothing. Not that I smoke.
Sorry. And now, Keith. Now, did we touch upon all of the bands that you wanted to talk about, or was there any other? Because when you and I talked the other day, there was a couple other that I noticed you didn't mention. Were you in a band called Drug Addiction?
No, where did you get that info from?
Well, I was writing down everything in order. Or did you actually literally mean I had a drug addiction?
I think he's already mentioned that part.
Oh shit! Because you were like, all right, dude, Dress to Kill, then JC, which is Jesse Camp, And then there was one called Hotter.
Hotter
What was
Than
it?
Hell. I toured with Hotter Than Hell. I want to
And
give
then
a
after
shout
that,
out.
I have Drug Addiction written.
Okay, so hold on.
There.
Those are my personal notes. I'm
Oh,
giving
shit.
everybody my personal.
I'm sorry, dude.
I sent
All
you my personal notes. You send it to everybody over the internet. No, Hotter Than Hell.
I've got a date with a black car now.
I did this crazy tour with Hotter Than Hell. I want to give a shout out to Fatty. Fatty is one of my family. He's a brother. He's up in Buffalo. He toured with us. He was just a member of the crew, member of the family, and I was with Hotter Than Hell. And then the Drug Addiction, and et cetera, et cetera.
I am so sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up.
No,
I thought it was a band.
yeah.
Is he?
I was trying to say, hey, there was this time error where I kind of went down. I was being candid with you, but that's okay. It's
Do
okay.
I
I
look like a
mentioned it
ghost?
earlier. It's okay. I'm just kidding.
Because I am so sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. What else is on my list?
I'm scared to read it.
So
Dress
Keith,
Like
there's
Woman.
one-
there's a couple notable mentions. I play with a performer named Laura Wilde.
I was gonna bring it up. I didn't know if you wanted me to bring it up.
It was such a shithouse experience. All I could say is out to you future rock and rollers is stay away from a band with a manager who's the mom. That's
A
all. I can
momager?
say. That's it.
Been there. I had a dadager. I had a.
Just
Ugh.
avoid the gig at all cost. No matter what. No matter how grand delusional it is, get out of the gig now.
Yeah, totally.
Her dad was nice enough though.
They
I'll be
fired me on the eve of going to the tour and opening up in Westbury, Long Island, in front of my friends and family that I had not seen in 10 years.
And you had already invited all of them.
Oh, everybody had tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Still makes family.
Do you
and
know
management.
what? Do you want to know why I got fired? The sequence of events. When I got into the band, I was like, "Hey, he's the tech guy. He's the performer guy. He's got it together guy. He can help this whole family move, together." And I was a part of the gears that kind of helped it move together. I wasn't a main gear, but I felt responsible in a couple aspects. But I started doing windmills on stage because I'm channeling my motherfucking Paul Stanley.
Can you tell us what windmills are? Because not everyone listening probably knows what that is.
Basically,
Yeah.
the Bill and Ted, baby.
Yeah.
Pete
We're doing
Townsend,
this podcast.
Johnny Thunders. I mean, who are you going to tell me I can't do windmills? They were telling me, Mom's like, you can't do windmills anymore. I'm like, excuse me?
Your playing's great, but you cannot do the windmills.
So
She's Australian at the time. I think she kind of said
I
like, "You can't do windmills on
remember
stage."
doing a gig in Minnesota playing another hockey arena, and I'm very excited to be there because it's a hockey arena, and I love hockey. I got the puck. I forget what team it was. TJ.
Mankato State, I believe. Mankato Mavericks.
Maybe. Get up here. Come on.
Dude, I've got to tell you, on the Rock of Ages tour, we did probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 hockey stadiums, arenas, whatever they're called, over in Canada. And at first, I was like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. Dude, it's freezing in there, dude.
Thank God.
It was uncomfortably cold.
You
On
got to move a little bit more on stage and stop staying so still.
Bruh.
Yeah, dude.
Bruh.
Wow.
I had almost no clothes on. I was wearing skin tight pants, and my dang dear fingers wouldn't move fast enough.
Okay,
Anyway.
you want to talk about dang near fingers? I played a gig with a Kiss tribute band, Hotter Than Hell, in Tallahassee, Florida.
Dude, you have full clothing on.
No. It's October 31st in Tallahassee, Florida. I mean, it's at the lowest point of my life. And I've never felt anything colder in my entire life. I think it was maybe -2 or 3. It had gotten so cold in this area. It had gotten so freezing at this point. We're out there. I couldn't move my fingers. I couldn't do anything. I drank like 16 Red Bulls. I was up for like 6 days.
And you're
That
still
was the
alive?
problem.
I'm trying to move, though. I'm trying to do something. This guy right here. Let let me highlight this guy. See this guy right here? This guy right here?
That's you.
He's one of my best friends in the entire world.
He's pretty cute, dude. I'll admit.
And he has saved me. He's one of my best buddies ever. So, you know, I don't know what kind of time structure you have, but I do want to make a notable mention. You know, I mentioned the mom and daughter group, which drove me insane. I was saying this story earlier about TJ. Like, I had TJ on the list like hours before. And they wound up screwing the tickets around. And I'll never forget the intro music was on while I was getting your tickets, TJ. The intro music was on because I was so mad. I think I went up and bought them myself. I bought them. I was just like, I cannot believe the disrespect right here. And that was kind of a low point. But, I mean, in L.A., I was trying to get a gig. I was a nobody in L.A. I was trying to get something to happen. And after that gig in L.A., I basically threw my 2 middle fingers up at L.A. I was like, fuck this. Fuck you all. I'm not fucking dealing with this L.A. bullshit ever. I'm too fucking New York for your L.A. crap. Am I right, TJ?
I didn't know that, but I did bring a Juicy Lucy. I remember that. Sorry it wasn't fresh. But
Oh, it was fresh. It was fresh.
it was like 25 minutes not fresh.
But
I only prefer fresh Juicy Lucy's. I don't know what the hell that is, but I
you're
just
missing
want it
out,
fresh.
bro. That's one of Keith's favorite burgers.
Right.
you
And
remember John, TJ?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know John. Right?
Yeah.
He brought us Juicy Lucy's. Now imagine Wild Street. Whatever's flowing through our veins it doesn't need to be mentioned. Whatever we drank doesn't need to be mentioned. But it's like 8:43 a.m. and John walks in with like 6 Juicy Lucy's, and by the sight of the food, I was like, I just started puking. I was just like, I don't even want what you're. I mean, you told me about this amazing burger, and I know it's got cheese in the middle of it, but I'm gonna puke right now because I can't imagine the sight of food right now.
what is a Juicy Lucy?
Juicy Lucy, TJ.
Oh, no,
TJ,
Keith, you
TJ.
describe it. You're excited. You go for it.
TJ. Okay, first off, you know, In-N-Out's a good burger. Whataburger's a good burger. All these other burger chains, they're good burgers. But let me tell you about a Juicy Lucy. If you've ever had the fancy to drive down to Minnesota and go down to
You mean up?
wherever the corner is, you get yourself a burger, and you bite into the middle of this delicious beef. And right in the middle of that beef is the most
Cheese.
delicious cheese.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the way they do it is special. So it's worth a trip to Minnesota for the weekend. It's worth driving down there from wherever you live in. It's worth it. If I could fly up there to buy a Juicy Lucy, I would do that. TJ, send the Juicy Lucy. I'll
bring
give you
one
my
with
FedEx
me.
account right now.
Yeah.
I'll give you the Express. Just get the Express account, send it on over.
Thank you for explaining Juicy Lucy's. I don't eat beef, but
Now,
that's
if you're
awesome.
from Long Island, and I gotta say it like that because if you're from Long Island, you have to go to Old American Burger. Old American Burger is the shit. But we can have a burger off any day.
I want to say 2 things. First of all, Robin, we definitely have to have like an after hours for like just to hang after the
Oh, yeah.
the podcast.
I've been thinking.
Um,
I've been thinking about that for weeks now. I'm like, okay, we need
Yeah.
to. We need to do like
Are
a
we
post show.
closing down?
We're
we
about
closing
to,
down?
but
Okay.
I do want to end on Zonked because I know that
Hey.
is your brainchild and that is what is most festive to you. So go ahead and tell us about that.
Here's the thing. I'm very humbled by every music experience I've been through. I'm very humbled that you guys have asked me to talk about it. I still, to the day, don't feel like I've accomplished anything like Christian Brady or Zack Attack or any of my closest friends. I honestly
Shush,
don't
you are a
feel
rock
it.
star.
I honestly don't feel it. I honestly don't.
You're your hardest critic.
It's-
You are
it-
your hardest critic.
I am
Good
very
word.
much a critic.
Good.
I'm not even being humble. I just don't feel as if, as I look at the most awesome picture in the world with Dee Snider, I honestly don't feel it. And it's very hard for me, and I don't ever want to come off as some egotistical maniac or anything like that. I just wanted to share a lot of great stories, and we do this on a normal Thursday night anyway, so I'm really appreciative of bringing it out. But, you know, as far as music and everything like that, I've had this band in my head called Zonked.
And I just happen to have a T-shirt.
Believe it or not, I literally found it yesterday. Very bizarre story. Anyway, Zonked is my heart, my soul. It's exactly what I'm hearing in my head. It's exactly what I want my friends, my peers, and my family like you guys to hear. It's music that's very special to me. When I think of Zonked, I think of who Eddie Van Halen was when he was writing Eddie Van Halen music. I think of Pete Townsend when he was writing The Who. I think of Jimmy Page when he was writing music for Led Zeppelin. I know that I've been putting it off for some time, but I'm very, very, very proud of it. And I have a bunch of genuine folkmen here in Vegas and California who have committed to helping me make some dreams come true. And we're gonna get together soon. We've had the singer dealing with some surgery, and it's been something I've been putting off for many years. And after all the bands I've been through, all the solo acts that I've been through, all the tribute bands that I've been through, I really don't want to do any of that anymore. I really don't want to be a part of it. It doesn't bring me any happiness, and Zach knows that because I've gone down many a depression days telling him that I'm not going to play anymore. Okay, but when it comes to Zonked, it's worth every bit of energy put into it. Kyle Frost, the singer, Al Serrato, drumming, and Sean Coos has lent his amazing bassness to the project to help me get this together. So I'm really hoping to get it together and get some recordings soon together and start putting out stuff and being proud of it and expressing myself and not playing other people's music and not trying to be Ace, not trying to be Jimmy, not trying to be Rick Nielsen, not trying to be anybody else, because it's kind of stagnated myself over the years, and I haven't given the respect to the music and the art and the creativity of giving my peers and my loved ones the music that I really want to share with. So Zonk means a lot to me. I'm looking forward to putting something out, and I just want to play rock and roll, and I want to be happy.
And you should. Go ahead.
Side note, Keith, bring on Zonked, but you do everything to a T, whether it's Jimmy or it's Ace, or if you're doing Cheap Trick, doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, you do it.
So you know what? I have been very prideful of being an Aries my whole life. Like, I've always told everybody being an Aries is the most important thing in my life, because I still believe I'm a true fit to an Aries, but a astrologist, for lack of better words, has told me that I'm more of a Gemini, which is I guess, duplicating, right? The Gemini is the twins.
I don't know.
So Gemini is like the twins, right? So like, apparently I like to be like Jimmy. I like to be like Ace. I like to be like Rick Nielsen. I like to copy things. And I think that's where I get my Gemini kind of like side to me, where I copy things in a very respectful way, and I try to do my best when I do tribute and stuff like that. But
are you a cusp baby? Are you like born right on the cusp of Aries and Gemini? Are they even next to each other? I don't know.
Kind of almost close to each other. I can't remember exactly. I'm not very astrologic, for lack of better.
One day we'll get an astrologer on here, and we'll duke it out.
Yeah, we'll duke it out. But I thank you, TJ. I had a lot of fun doing the cheap trick stuff. I got to do that with very special people in my life, and
your costume was spot on too. Like, I mean, like, the whole works. It wasn't like you just went like, all right, I'm gonna play.
No,
like,
it was
the whole look.
It was an actual real Rick Nielsen bow tie. It was an actual Rick Nielsen jacket, and I had the checkerboard pants, the wrestling sneakers. It was awesome.
Did you have the Did you have the guitar with like? Did you have the guitar with like 8 necks?
I did not get that one. No, unfortunately, I did not.
Imposter.
You're like me, Keith. When it comes to doing stuff, like, if I'm doing Halloween, I'm doing it. I'm doing it big. Like, I'm going all out.
You do it big, TJ. You do it big.
Well, Keith, everything you do, I think, is phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of yours. You're like family to me. and you are very good at doing the things that you do, but you still put some Keith in it, you know. Like, I know it's you. I know your style. I know your tone, which I love, and I definitely want to have you back on for a gear day because I know you're a big gearhead,
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
myself. But brother, thank you so much for being a part of this. It's an
Thank you.
absolute honor.
You know, I know, like I said before, it's like a normal Thursday night to us. You know, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. I'm very proud of your show. I want you guys to keep building it, keep working hard on it. It'll bring you great fortune in life, both within and without. And I thank you for just having this opportunity to shoot the shit. I appreciate it.
Of course, brother. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Yeah. Have a great week. God bless all you. TJ.
Love you guys. This is great. This was a lot of fun. Keith, you're the best. Robin, Zach, love you. Everyone, like, subscribe, or dislike. That means
And Tuxie.
And Tuxie.
Tuxie.
Dislike us because that means we're doing something right. Anyways, over to you, Robin. Love you all. Thank you.
This was such a fun show.
Sorry I didn't get to let you talk.
No.
Oh, you're good.
No. You are our
we
guest.
like to cut Robin off too.
Yeah. You are our guest. You're the one that's supposed to have the spotlight here. So, I mean, unless Tux steals it. So,
Tux is gonna.
But
he's gonna steal all the spotlight, right, buddy?
all of it. So yeah, Keith, come back. We wanna talk more. You've probably got other stories and gear and crap to talk about. So come back anytime you want to.
Oh boy.
And I think that's going to do it for us this week. For those of you wondering, yes, that is a fully automatic Nerf gun in the corner. That'll never get old.
For none of you wondering.
For none of you wondering.
For all of
you wondering, yes. So yeah, I guess that's it, gentlemen. Class dismissed.
Are we done yet?